Good morning. How are you, David?
Oh,
Must be your busy time of year.
Oh, no. We only work one day a week, and Christmas doesn't fall on a Sunday this year.
I've decided I'm very rich this Christmas.
Are you?
Yeah, I've paid myself a penny for every time somebody said it must be your busy time of year.
Yeah.
As if I don't work any other days.
Well, I have heard this rumour, Chris.
Oh, don't tell the bishop.
But she's still watching at this point. Be careful.
Oh yeah, I should have said that 3 minutes in, shouldn't I? When she's given up.
Yeah, when she's given up. However, Chris, yes, it's not too busy. We've now completed, I think, apart from one today, all of the school carol services.
Yeah,
I'll go carol service this evening at Melplash. I did one last Sunday at Hook, which was lovely and gorgeous. And then Sunday I've got Beaminster carol service. And on we go.
Yeah. And Christmas, 1 o'clock Christmas, I can sit down and have a sleep.
You could. I think because you're not going to be busy on Christmas afternoon, you could start your Easter sermon.
Well, that's not far off, because I should probably be starting to think about Epiphany sermon.
Oh, Epiphany. Yeah, we like a bit. We don't want to talk about Epiphany, though. We haven't even got past Advent 4 yet.
No.
Jesus hasn't been born, has he?
Not yet. But as I said last Sunday in the pulpit, at least the advantage of Advent is we're preparing Christmas knowing that he will be.
Ah, such a wise word, Chris. Such wise words.
So, and that's almost wise words before we've had our little reading.
Yeah, and I think that could reveal all about what's going to go on. I'll leave you to read it.
Okay, so we're on Matthew chapter 11 for Advent 4. Now, the birth of Jesus the Messiah took place this way. When his mother Mary had been engaged to Joseph, but before they lived together, she was found to be with child from the Holy Spirit. Her husband Joseph, being a righteous man and unwilling to expose her to public disgrace, planned to dismiss her quietly. But just when he had resolved to do this, an angel of the Lord appeared to him in a dream and said, "Joseph, son of David, do not be afraid to take Mary as your wife, for the child conceived in her is from the Holy Spirit. She will bear a son, and you are to name him Jesus, for he will save his people from their sins." All this took place to fulfill what had been spoken by the Lord through the prophet. "Look, the virgin shall conceive and bear a son, and they shall name him Emmanuel," which means God is with us. When Joseph awoke from sleep, he did as the angel of the Lord commanded him. He took her as his wife, but had no marital relations with her until she had borne a son, and he named him Jesus.
Chris, I think that's one of the only real readings that we hear anything about the person or the personality potentially of Joseph.
Yes, he's a very rare character, isn't he?
Very hidden. Very hidden.
I did read a book, and it was a book of fiction.
Mm-hmm.
That almost said that Joseph was actually probably killed within a couple of years after Jesus was born, which is why you hear about Mary but not Joseph.
Mm-hmm.
Which I thought was an interesting theory.
He was also considerably older than she was. We understand, I think, from bits I've read in various books and things. But it's this again. Mary was obedient to God's call when the angel Gabriel arrived, wasn't she? You will be the mother of the bearer of the child. And she could have said, "No, sorry very much, I don't want any of that. I'm going to wash my hair," or whatever reason she could have found. But she didn't. She was obedient to God's call and will. And this is the moment when he's obedient to God's call and will, isn't it? He could, as we know, from biblical sources, he could have taken back to her parents and demanded his money back, because he'd already paid what they called the bride price for her, to secure her for his wife when he was ready to marry her. He could have taken her back, demanded his money back, and in fact, he could have also instigated a legal case, which would have ended up with her being stoned to death because she was pregnant before they got married, and within this contract that they'd already got. And he didn't, did he?
No.
You know, immediately he took her into his life, married her, and you know, what kind of relationship was he to have with Jesus? It wasn't his son, was it?
No, and it's always interesting when you go through Matthew, the genealogy of Jesus, because that seems to go an awful lot through Joseph.
It does.
I liked the nativity play from Loder's school day before yesterday. The lead character was called the Angel Whoopsie.
Well, there you are.
Kept getting everything wrong and not quite doing anything and felt useless. But it was the Angel Whoopsie that was chosen to go and tell Mary that she was going to be with child. And it was a lovely telling of the story with a slightly different take, and the children really engaged with it.
That's lovely.
You know, could you imagine the children playing on that word whoopsie and oh dear and oh I've got it wrong again and all that sort of thing?
I think I could be called the Reverend Whoopsie.
Well, I wasn't going to tell you.
Thanks, Chris. I knew what you were getting at. That's very kind of you to put it. So kind of you to put it gently.
But there's so much of that happens in this story, isn't it? You know, it's you know, that being born of a virgin, it can be conceived.
Yeah.
You pardon the pun. It can be conceived as good or bad, right or wrong. You know, you've always got the start there looking a bit wrong. You've got born in a stable, born in a cow's barn. You know, it's again something that's not normal. Traveling the 70 miles from Nazareth to Bethlehem on a donkey when you're 9 months pregnant, that's not exactly normal. You know, it's all right if you've got a nice, comfy ambulance. But Mary didn't.
Nice comfy sedan chair or something to be carried in.
Yeah. You know, so there's loads of stuff about that on the story. And actually, I think that almost makes the story better because we can relate to it. Because I mean, life doesn't work for the rest of us exactly how we plan it, does it?
No, and it doesn't work in the world today in the way that we plan it, does it? Really? And, you know, the story itself comes to this wonderful culmination, and it's about God being born as man, isn't it?
Yeah.
Being brought into the world as a child, as a human being, whatever you want. I use the word man very carefully because I know today it can cause upset or whatever. But it's God coming to earth as a human person.
Yeah.
And we've spent the last getting on for 4 weeks, thinking about this, and that's the importance of Advent all through. We're just at the fourth week of Advent. We've still got a week. We've still got. If you're watching this on Sunday, dear viewer, you could be watching it on Thursday. We're a week today, isn't it? We're recording on a Thursday, as we do normally, viewer, and so it's a week today to Easter Day. So we've still got a week of Advent to go. Sorry, yeah. So excuse the non-pun. We've still got a week to Christmas, haven't we? And to Christmas Day, and so we're still in the waiting, the preparing, and the whatever time before the rejoicing comes about of the wonderful, you know, the wonderful moment of truth when God revealed Himself to the world in the child of Bethlehem.
We have, and I think one of the things I've been talking a lot about so far is, you know, we normally have our 4 candles. You haven't had your candles out today, David.
No. I didn't. I didn't bring that. They're still in the kitchen on the table because they are the table centerpiece, really. But they're there. They're there.
Anyway, instead of those
Yeah.
candles, we normally talk about the patriarchs, the prophets, John the Baptist and Mary, as we get closer and closer to Christmas. I've been talking a lot about hope, peace,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
love
Joy and joy.
and joy. Last week was the joy. And actually, I almost think sometimes, that's the solution to the world. The world's getting a dire place, and it seems to get more and more war every day. But if we had more hope in peace and joy and love, and let that start with us, the world would become a lot better place. And that's what the hope and the message, actually, I think, of Jesus being born boils down to in a lot of ways. We've got God come to this earth, the God of love, being born in difficult circumstances, bringing that love, that peace and that hope, which gives us the joy in our lives.
It's interesting, isn't it, that Jesus is to be born again in our hearts and minds this year, but he was born at the time he was born, and the world and the place around him was still as dangerous then as it is today. We've never learned from all of that, have we?
No, we haven't.
And the Christian message, or other, the interfaith message, because most of the main faith traditions of one way or another are about peace. They're not about war and killing. They've been subversed, haven't they, by people within them to cause all of that. And so you're quite right. This message of hope and joy. I mean, how would you give a message of hope and joy to a family like all those families involved in the shooting last Sunday at Bondi Beach? Or how would you give hope or support to the people of Gaza or Ukraine or wherever it may be? Or those families of children out in I want to say Kenya, it wasn't Kenya, Uganda, whatever, where they were all being kidnapped, and still only half of them have been found and returned to their families. How do you translate that into a message of hope and joy?
Yeah, I mean, it gets tough, isn't it? I mean, all we can do there is try and offer a bit of hope and comfort.
Yeah.
And, God being an eternal God, the place of heaven being a better place. But it's not really a nice answer.
No,
it's something, isn't it?
It seems so insufficient, doesn't it?
Yeah.
But yet that is the message that we have to bring. And that message of hope, eternal hope. It was interesting. You probably didn't see, but last night on, I think it was BBC4, they had an evening and a program. They were reviewing the original television play that went on to the West End of Shadowlands. Do you know Shadowlands at all? It's the story of the relationship between C.S. Lewis when he was a don at Oxford, writing all his Christian theology, with a lady called Joy Gresham. And it's my favourite film of all time because it's so poignant about his faith. And she was, if I remember right, American Christian stroke Jew, communist, signed up member of the Communist Party. And feminist as well, obviously. And somehow he wrote to him about one of his books, and they met and they fell in love, and she had cancer and died very, very quickly. And she was uncertain about faith, where he was very strong on what he believed about faith. And they've spoken an awful lot about what is to come when she dies. And there's one very point towards the end of the film when she is dying and she's not far from death. And she's asking him about heaven. And she says to him, as she looks at him from her deathbed into his eyes, she said, "You better be right."
Mm.
And that for me is one of the things. I'm sure you the same. We say all kinds of things, don't we, to people who are in trouble, people who are dying, people who've got illness. We speak with a certainty that we feel and know. And often I can feel, as the people are looking at us, that not being said to me, but is what the person is asking. You better be right.
Yeah.
And the message of Christmas is that message of Jesus being again revealed to us, manifested fresh to us again this Christmas, does bring hope and joy into a world. And I do deeply believe, to answer that question of Joyce Gresham, that it is right. And it'll only be worked out in due course when God gets the hold of the whole world and puts it right. But it's good cause to rejoice and to celebrate.
So what we
And
can
we
say
will be
to you
celebrating.
is, whenever you go
And
to
we'll
a
be-
carol service this Christmas or any church service, maybe you can sit there and sing your heart out with these carols and think, I hope this is right.
Yeah. Well, I hope it's right. Yeah, I hope you're right. Yeah, absolutely. And the other thing I often say, and I've said it I've done 2 or 3 school carols, or 2 or 3 carol services, and particularly school ones. I always say to the children, you do realise, don't you, children, that if Jesus hadn't been born at Christmas, you'd have been at school on Christmas Day. And they all look at you, don't they? Oh! And I said, so just do me one big favour. And I say this to you, dear viewers, as well. I've said to my own children over the years they were growing up, on Christmas Day, as to excitedly, quite rightly excitedly, opening your presents and ripping the paper off them, amidst all the mess of paper everywhere, and the dog throwing it about, or the baby playing with the box because it's more important than the toy. Amongst all of that, just stop for 1 minute and say, thank you, Jesus, for coming into my life and into the world again this Christmas to bring hope and love and joy and peace.
What a lovely message to end on.
Try it, Chris. Christmas Day.
I shall try it. I shall remember that.
Yeah,
Don't forget
I've said it for years.
School if it wasn't for the birth of Jesus.
Yeah, and we wouldn't be sat here for the birth. You'd be at work, wouldn't you? Think of Christmas. Think of Christmas Carol. you know. So there we are. That's the fourth Sunday of Advent and Christmas message all rolled into one, Chris.
Because I'm guessing next Thursday you're not going to be around at 8:30, are you, to record this?
I should be in church leading the early morning service at 8:30.
Live streamed?
If you want to bring your camera along, Chris, and sit there and live stream it, I will be dinner. Because I doubt you have an 8:30 service, do you, on Christmas morning?
No, I'm spoilt in my benefits. 9:30 is my start.
Yeah, 8:30 and 10 o'clock for me. So that's Christmas. That'll be Christmas morning. Joe's got a nice start this year because you were due to be at Drimpton at 9:15, but due to a lot of their people all being away, they said they don't feel they can uphold the service. So she's not starting till 10:30, I think. So she can have she won't know what to do with herself, will she?
No, she could open stockings with her children.
I think her children will still be sleeping from the night before. Don't forget they're all teenagers and at college and universities and things now.
Yeah, but they still want their Christmas stocking.
They want their Christmas presents. Perhaps you could make Harry a cup of tea and take it to him in bed with a mince pie or something.
Oh,
possibilities
of enjoying a Christmas morning.
What the answer is. Yeah, that's right. So 8:30 for me. I should be back in church, having probably got home around what time? 1 o'clock.
Yeah,
for midnight. And you must have a midnight mass or service somewhere, Chris. Have you got one?
Yeah, I've organised it so the midnight one is here in Loaders, and I've also organised it so that it starts at 11 and we finish at midnight.
Yeah, good idea.
Yeah, so we're not up too late.
No,
just for my own sanity, really.
I know the feeling. Wait till you get to my great age, Chris.
Oh, I don't worry. I got another 30 years before I get there.
That's very true. I mean, you need all the beauty sleep at my age you can get, as you can tell. So, dear viewer,
brilliantly, dear David.
Dear viewer, now is the time for us to say to you, have a very, very happy Christmas. And we hope that your new year is good, because we probably won't be back until after we've sorted our Christmas holidays. And I'm away the first week in January myself. So we'll see you in the new year, ready and raring to go for another bumper year of Rev Chats. Thank you for all the kind words you say and the ticks and the thumbs up you give to us. Thank you for watching and making it worth our while. Thank you to Chris and to Callie for all their hard work with Rev Church through the year. And a very, very big thank you from both of us, I'm sure, Chris, to Harry for all the hard work that he puts into ensuring that what we sit and gabble on about sometimes is made viewable. So, Harry, thank you sincerely from all of us and from all the viewers as well. And we look forward to seeing you all in January.
Yeah.
Bye,
and I'll echo all those thanks. Well done, everybody. Enjoy your Christmas. Bye.
Bye.